Alright, this is like the 30th time recording this, because I'm so incompetent that I can't put two fucking sentences together, I guess, but whatever. This can uses 464 TNT, it uses 100 power, 302 hammer, and 1 splitter TNT. It's using 1 power, it's a fusion, whatever, just getting the point across. It hits this block here, and it stacks, and doesn't clip on this, even with the splitter TNT. So, I mean, it shoots 30 chunks. I'll just quickly show that first before I explain everything. So I'll just go from there, and I'll just keep flying this way. 44 over 16, and so then I'll show the second distance because it uses 2 guiders, and I'll explain that in a moment. I'll go a little bit out, so 422, 26 chunks pretty much. As this cannon's working, is using velocity fusion. Probably would have noticed that, by the way, how I had the extra guider here. Not too much else to say, because really what's happening is just, it's getting an arc difference, a difference in like forward and upwards velocity. So sand hits here, but hammer does not reach that point, so it just keeps going forward, hits that block, blah blah blah. So I'll explain it more in depth now. So basically what's happening is my power's here, and my sand is going to be here, so getting cubic exposure. So it's going to get enough Y velocity to adjust to this point, or at least Y adjust to that point. But the hammer's here, so it's not going to be getting enough Y velocity to even reach that point, so it's going to continue going forward, and that's going to hit this guider here on the next game tick, because that's where it ends up after 1 game tick distance. It's going to be basically right here, and it's going to go up again, and that's basically just hitting the guider like it's game tick late. And that's pretty much, if you were to have a 1 game tick power difference, which is what Scare did for splitter fusion. So what I decided to do with this is just pretty much take 1 power, use velocity fusion by doing that, and turn it into a splitter fusion. And I don't think that's really been done before, using 1 power to do that, by arcing upwards like that, or at least the method to turn into velocity fusion and splitter fusion. It's been really been done before, because most of the time people have used splitter TNT at a wall or something before something else is reached. So you're like losing distance almost, or like it's just mainly good for like left shooters. So I'm gonna be releasing this basically so people either can slap a 1 rev ratio on it and just get a bunch more distance than just like 30 chunks, or just so that they can try to make one of their own, or to try to find a way to make this be, you know, find a way to make this go further than just how long it takes to stack. I don't know what I'm really trying to say. I'm just trying to say that, like, find a better way to make this practical, rather than so basically you can get like free distance and stuff, because it's all really about your first game tick of distance, and that's really it. So, or like, it's basically just first game tick of distance is what limits your overall distance, because you would have to have this in your cannon box if you want to Y adjust and make it okay. But unless you're okay with leaving it at the edge of your fucking raid claims, you can have a shit ton of TNT. I guess that's a different story, but then have fun Y adjusting. Not much to say. Me and Bagelll kind of came up with this. I built most of the cannon. He was helping us start, but he had to go. It's not much else. Wasn't meant for auto, because I used regular boosters like an idiot, because I just couldn't be bothered to actually make regular boosters. See, I'll release this. I'll have it in my Discord if anybody wants to mess with it, or, you know, do anything with it, or try doing something of their own. The way I came up with the idea is Scare and I were talking about push nuking, because people have been asking me, a lot of people have been asking me for help with it. And I mean, I'm fine with people asking me for help with it. That's not the point of why I'm bringing this up. But he wanted me to explain it to him, because look, Scare's been local hosted for a long time. or like he hasn't really been playing too much lately. So he still has his canon knowledge he's always had, but he hasn't really been close with the community because he's always been local hosted and not really talked much with people outside, not really talked with many people for the past, I don't know, very, very long time. So he hasn't even like heard of some of the concepts like push nuke, anti-patch, stuff like that. I'm not really surprised. I would probably feel the same way, but doesn't really matter. So we talked about a different way you could have done push nuke and using velocity fusion to get difference on powers and shit. And I was like, well, I mean, that could work, but I really don't see the fucking point. But I guess you could do first 2 powers, velocity, and then so your nuke and down nuke and nuke hammer. I don't know. Not the point. Point is that I'm releasing this. Have fun messing with it. I do not really care what you do with it. Try to make it with your own stuff, or try to find a way to make it practical, I guess, or just find a nice 1-rev ratio for it, I guess. I don't really know. It already gets like 8 or 9 game tickets or game takes of distance, but yeah, that's about it. Nothing too special besides the fact that it's like 464 TNT per shot and nothing's double pulsing. But yeah, that's that. It's the whole canon. It'll be in my Discord, and everything will be in the description that you need to know. And I'll leave stuff in the description. I'll leave like whatever, or I'll just add comment for other stuff. But that's about it.